we're all very happy to welcome here Mona Jacobsen Saab. She's the president of the Norwegian Hospitality Association, NHO Reiseliv. And she's also the CEO and chairman of Big Fish Adventure. And this is a family-run tourism group, which is also participating in this project. She has worked all of her life in tourism, and with a hotel as a base, she has, together with the family, developed and built up a tourist and sea fishing concept in Sørøya in Finnmark. And today she will be speaking to us about cooperation in the north. So let's welcome on stage Mona Jacobsen Saab.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Dear all, dear friends, dear family, colleagues, thank you very much for the invitation. And thank you very much for the fantastic meeting yesterday in Camp Ripa. It was really, really nice to meet you all, and it was really nice to see that fantastic place and to see how they work with sustainability and how to develop fantastic products for the tourists. I'm proud to be a part of the tourist family. And from my point of view, tourism in the Arctic is a story about history, tradition, and culture. It's about storytelling. It's about self-confidence. It's about hard work, I'm sure you know. And it's about cooperation. I grew up in the Arctic. I grew up on Sørøya. It's the fourth biggest island in Norway. It's placed outside Hammerfest, so it's far north, out in the sea. And people have lived there for like 15,000 years. And they have lived of fisheries. So I grew up in a fishing village, and when I was 12, in 1977, my parents started a small hotel in the village Hasvik. So the whole family moved to this small hotel. It was only 7 rooms. It was a bar. The bar was filled with Swedish and Finnish people drinking beer when they normally worked at the fish factories. So I grew up there. I left the island in the beginning of the 80s. I was away for 15 years, took some education, actually many years. And I went back again in 1995. It was important to go back to the roots. I brought with me my former husband, Ahmed, and we started together to work at the hotel together with my parents. It was still a small hotel, it was still a bar, it was still some rooms, and we lived from the activity that the fishing industry made in the village, on the island. In 2000, my parents retired and we took over. We lent a lot of money, not a lot, but for us it was a lot of money. And we renovated a small hotel, and it was good days, and it was a lot of people coming to do some work or drink some beers in the bar. And then in 2002, when everything looks very nice and it was, a lot of people, we have good days. We had good days. Then in February in 2002, it was a conference, a fishery conference on the island. And the same day when they started the conference, the news about the bankrupt of the company owned the 3 fish factories on the island came. And that was really a big tragedy, because then everything stopped. Absolutely everything. It was no guests, all locals. They hold on their money because they didn't know when they had jobs next time. And all the workers from Sweden and Finland or wherever they came from, they left the island. So it became quiet. Really, really, really quiet. And we didn't know what to do. We were sitting there, and you know, the bills were almost reaching the roof, and no people, no activity, no light in the future. But then suddenly, after some years, she became the major. But at that time, she was hired in to have a project. I can't say it. Kommunen had started a company to take care of the developing, because everyone understood that we had to do something, because we couldn't stay in the quiet zone. And they were talking about developing, or as we wanted it, not developing, because we didn't want to change. Maybe we should just readjust. Maybe we should do something that we always had done, but maybe we should do it in a different way. What should we do, actually? So then Eva, the name of the lady, she invited us for a meeting. And she also invited Jens Harald Jensen, that he was in charge of Finnmark Reiseliv in that time. And he said, I don't know, I don't have the answer, but I have good advice. Find the gold, make it shine, and take it out to the world. And we were sitting there, okay? We was in an island where they had lived from fishery in 15,000 years. Do we have some gold? I'm not sure. And at the same time, we knew that we had a competition, fishery competition, that has been arranged for like 10, 12 years already. And this competition could tell about the biggest fish and most fish. No other competition in Norway could show the same results. Okay, maybe we found the gold. Maybe fish could be the gold for us in the tourist industry. Because we was 8 small companies, we still had this. We didn't have 7 rooms, we had 11 rooms, and we had still the bar. And we had a lot of hopes for the future, because we really hoped that people could live and stay and have a good lives on the island where I grew up. So what we started was to find out how could we live from this? How could we go out with the gold? How could we make it shine? And we started to work with a project called Sørøya, the land of the big fish. And it worked really well. We started to work with influencers. Nobody knew about influencers back at that time, but we started to work with people that have been on the island and that was stars in their own city or homeland, and they were known by other fishermen. And it was before Facebook and everything like that, so it was magazines and it was people talking somewhere. And then, slowly, it started. We started with 1,000 nights, guests' nights. And now, in 20, we passed 70,000 guest nights. I think that's quite a journey. And how did we do this? Besides using these influencers all over the world. Yeah, we made a decision. And this decision was made. Eva, she invited a lady to learn us about how to treat the tourists. And my former husband, Ahmed, he picked up this lady from the airport. And Ahmed, he talks a lot. So he talked with the lady, told her about the island, about the weather, about the fish, about the food, everything, and carried her suitcase. Took her to the hotel and, treated her well. But this lady that should teach us about this, she said, he is an example for how to not treat the guests. You can carry the suitcase, you can give them food, you can do everything, but don't talk. You should be quiet. You know, treat them well. Okay, and the guys, because it was mostly guys that was in the team from these 8 different companies that we cooperated with, they said, Eva, either you take this lady, put her on the plane and send her back again, or we leave. Okay. Eva took the lady, said, sorry, it's bye-bye time, you can go. And we were sitting talking about, what is this? How can we live with this? And this is actually a really important decision that we made that day. We knew that nobody could reach, the stage where you're leaving 4 o'clock for really long time. It meant that this would be our lives. It's not the job. And because of that, Ahmed, he needed to be himself. I had to be myself, and all the other ones also had to be themselves. But that's also part of the goal, I think. Because then when you meet the guests, you give them a part of yourself. That means also the guests will give you the part of themselves. So it will be really good connections. And history and tradition, keep it. It's important. That's what people want to see. Real life, real people, your history, your traditions. Plastic, they can find somewhere else. That's all about storytelling. Real stories, true stories. But how we live, how we raised, where we want to go from there, from this point to the next. And I know it's hard work. That's been many hours, many long nights, many nights awake, thinking about the bills, walking and raising up to the roof. I'm sure I'm not the only one in this room that had those nights and those thoughts. I said that we raised from 1,000 to 70,000. We couldn't do that alone. It was a really hard work, and it was because of the cooperation with all the other companies and all the people we learned to know outside. All these influencers. They didn't even know they were influencers. It's nowadays we know that they are influencers. We still work with these guys. They come, they deliver, and they are like brothers and sisters. So that's the short story of Big Fish Adventure. I took over from my parents together with Ahmed. And the biggest job we did was to make our son, Bilal. And now he has taken over, so actually I'm just an employee and a partner, of course, a little bit. And I'm really proud and I'm really happy because it means that the hard work to make Sørøya a place to live, a place to visit, a place to stay, has been a success. Because we also on the island has the problem with many youths leaving, but also we have some staying and we also have someone coming back. And I have hopes for the future, and I still know that we have to cooperate to make it work. Nina was talking about what we should work with in this project, Arctic Europe Tourism Cluster. I think it's important to think that we should work with heads and hearts. Because economic sustainability, Arctic sustainability, it's about economic, it's about ecological, and it's about social. Economic sustainability, that's really important, because if we are not economical sustainable, we can't do the other things. So we have to work against our, or to our politicians and tell them they have to make the taxes, they have to make the environment things that we need work so we can have economical sustainability for our companies. Ecological, Mother Earth. There is no way without. There is no way around. And it's for the next generation and the generations after. So we just have to take care of it. Social. Yes. How to make our Arctic, our common Arctic, a well-being for people from everywhere to a good place to live and to work and to visit. And the culture. We really need to take care of the culture. And that it's a responsibility for every one of you. Don't take the short way around. Don't make fake stories, fake news. We don't care about them. Just, you are good enough as you are. We are good enough as we are. Year-round development. Not around, year-round development. That's difficult. I know. We have a season ending in October, starting again in February. It means that it's difficult to make the economical sustainability when you have many months with the wrong color of the zippers. But it's important because we need lights in the houses and we need lights between the houses. So I'm sure with good cooperation we will also manage that. And you were also, Nina, talking about digital innovation, and that's also, I will not say anything about that. I'm too old. No, it goes really fast, and we have to cope with it, and we have to be, if it's possible, a little bit in front. Because if we should reach our goals, we need to cope with it. And it's a lot of opportunities if we use it the right way. We were also talking about Arctic Europe as one travel destination, a cross-border cooperation. I think that's a really smart way to do it, to think the borders this way instead of that way. Because Arctic is a fantastic place. And what's so fantastic with Arctic? The nature. You can't find a more beautiful place than the Arctic, with the Aurora borealis, late night, it's cold, the trees are white from the frost. You know it, you can cry just looking. But the real gold is not nature, it's you, it's the people. It's every one of us that spend a life every hour, every year, to give good hours, minutes, days, weeks to visitors and people that want to visit us. To share our histories, to share our culture to the world. And it's important. It's really important. Some of you, I don't know, but some of you I know well. And I know the people that's sitting here are delivering really gold. And I'm really, really proud of it. I'm proud of being a part of this jewelry box in Arctic. And why are we important for the rest of the world? Today, it's a really, really difficult geological, geopolitical situation. We need to be strong. We need to be a strong unit. We need defense. And we need to prepare it. That's why it's important that it lives people in the Arctic, in all 3 countries. And we need to cooperate, and we need to think of us as one unit. It's a lot of challenges, and it's a lot of problems. But I'm sure if we work together seriously, if we take all these problems, but all the opportunities seriously, together we can reach new goals and climb higher mountains. So one more time, dear friends, tourism in the Arctic, from my point of view, is about history, tradition, culture. It's about storytelling. It's about self-confidence. And we need it. We really need it. Believe in yourself. Believe in your goal. It's about hard work. I know. It's about really hard work. And it's about cooperation. So dear family, I know we are a winning team. Work with heads and hearts. So I'm sure if we do that together, we will have a fantastic future in front of us. Love you all. Thank you.
Can I have you stay for a while here? Because I actually thank you for your lovely speech. It was really inspirational. But I would like to ask, would you have a specific story for us of some nice cooperation, what you did together in Soraya? Do you have any stories or memories how you started to build everything when it looked a little bit gloomy, but somehow you managed to emerge from that? Anything specific?
Yeah, I can tell you about. We had a meeting, one of many, and that was we decided to work together. You know, it was the first meetings. We were sitting there crying because we know if we couldn't do anything that make people come to make money from something, we will. All the companies will be bankrupt and we could go somewhere else. We had spent every money, we had spent put all cards in one pot. And then it started to go, we had slowly started, and it started to come requests for, we want to come fishing. And I had only one boat, and that was my brother. He had bought this boat because I didn't have any money to buy a boat. So my brother had one boat, but these guests wanted 2 boats. So I had to call to Ragnar. He was the bus driver. I said, Ragnar, I have some guests. Do you have a boat for me? Yeah, I have an old boat, but maybe it could work. So it started like that. Today we have 50 boats. We have small boats, big boats, everything. But it started with my brother's boat, with Ragnar's boat, and a small house that we bought really cheap from an old guy that, felt sorry for us, and we gave him some extra dinner and tried to be nice, Yeah. So it started really in the beginning, but because of the cooperation, because of, the trust in that it would be light somewhere in the horizon, in the future, that made it possible, made it work, made it go from this 14 beds up to 200 beds, from no boats to 50 boats, and now, today, it's really important with the tourist industry. We are not we only, but all the companies is about 20% of all the tax income in the kommune. I can't say that. It's really difficult word. But it's you know it's without the tourists now, the villages would be only summer places coming, people coming home for the cottages. But now it's a really working, alive village and island.
Yes. So it is about trusting each other,
Yeah.
helping each other out, and figuring out and problem solving together. Just like Nina said in the morning, like we can do it together. We can solve it like bigger issues and gain something even bigger.